Hey guys, it's Mark from parkflyers.com. Today we're looking at the Tekno SCT 410 2.0. This is a brand new release from Tekno. It's their version of their short course truck, and we think it's one of the best short course trucks in the world today. The old one, the 410.3, this is my truck. I've run it for a couple of years. Absolutely phenomenal. And this truck was built for a customer, Mr. Kim. He's going to be racing this at Area 52 in North New Jersey this coming spring 2025. And he asked us to put together a really good truck, something competitive and something that's going to really drive good right out of the gate. So the first thing is the body. If you look at this body, it's off a Centon 6S from Arma. This is a body from a car that was discontinued. Luckily, Horizon still makes this body. It is one of the best short course bodies you can buy today without any, there's nothing deficient in this design. It has air holes in the front, so it doesn't prevents any lift, and it also has air holes in the back, and that prevents parachuting and jumping. So this is also a body that's a little bit thicker than a standard Lexan body, so it's a little bit more durable. We like the angular design and the cuts. It looks really beautiful, and it fits on any short course truck chassis that is in the 110 scale range. This will fit on a Slash or anything from Team Losi, and we think this is a great body for the Tekno. Fits perfect, it lines really good, and this body is definitely going to aid in performance, especially with the optional wing on the back. It's going to put a little bit more downforce on the back, so that is that. And then as far as wheels and tires, we stuck with the Gladiators. We used them on the old car, and we like the design of these. Instead of having pins, it's like basically a block pin design where it's a squared shaped pin. These last a lot longer, and they grip on almost any surface. You could run this on anything, hard pack, loose dirt, asphalt. It runs great. And it differentiates itself between another short course tire is the inner foam. Proline decided to put a very stiff inner foam. If you see I'm trying to push down on it and it is not pushing down, it doesn't need to be belted. It eliminates all the weight from belting, and it lets this tire keep its shape under full throttle. When you're going into turns on a track, a stiff foam really helps because it keeps the tires consistent, and it lets them hold their shape, and the car can do its thing. The suspension actually works better like that, and the Gladiator is definitely the go-to tire for any performance short course truck that you have, and it's definitely our #1 pick for racing. Now, the one rule on this track they have for the truck is you have to use a 2S battery. You can't use 3S. And that makes sense because if you're going 3S on a groomed track, you're going to be going too fast. You're going to be overshooting everything, and you're not going to be able to use all that power. The battery that we went with was the ProTech. It's their LIHV 7.6 volt, really good battery, low resistance, good price. It's a 100C, and it's perfect for racing. Very consistent, and I think the customer is going to love it. So now what makes this car different than the older one? There's a couple small changes on the car. Let's go over some of those changes now. So the first are the shock towers are different, and the shocks are different. The shocks are actually smaller on this car as opposed to the original one, and the end result is the car sits lower, so it has better center of gravity. The car definitely has a better stance. Left to right transitions are quicker. It's going to be more nimble in the turns, and it's going to handle better. So essentially, this car is a better handling version of the old one. The chassis on this one is a little bit wider. The old one has a very thin chassis. This one's wider. It's easier to work on and install the components. Wire management is really amazing. If you see along the battery tray, there's these little guides, and they go right into the receiver box. Excellent. The battery strap is also a very good design, much better than the old one. You have one thick strap. It's much quicker than the old two straps that are thinner, and they always kind of like come loose. This never comes loose, and it's a very, very nice improvement in the design. On the old car, the receiver box was on the left. On this newer one, it's on the right, as you see the antenna coming out of here. The differential has a little bit better mount on it on this car. And it is a fixed position motor mounting type of thing where you had a slide out position over here where you had to actually do your own mesh. Here it's basically preset. So for this car, we went with the stock spur gear, and then we went with a 20-tooth pinion on this motor. This motor is a Castle Creations 1412 3200 kV motor. It has the perfect amount of torque and RPM for this track. It is absolutely perfect. We paired it with a Copperhead ESC from Castle. This setup is absolutely sublime. It is the best power to weight ratio you can put in this truck. A lot of people make the mistake. They buy really big motors, big speed controls, and they run this thing on 4S, and they're missing out on something really special. If you run this on 2S like we're showing here, this truck is absolutely phenomenal. It jumps incredible. It handles incredible. Everything it does is just incredible when the car is set up correctly. We don't like our cars heavy. And again, we see a lot of YouTube videos, people making mistakes. They're really loading up the cars with weight. Big 4S pack, 6,000. I saw one guy the other day, 6,000 4S pack with like a huge hobby wing motor in this. Ridiculous. I mean, you're basically canceling the whole purpose and the intent of this car, which is really, it's a precise instrument. This is a racing tool that is meant to be super precise. There is no slop in any of the linkage. The drivetrain and the cuts on all the metal here are second to none. Everything has a purpose and everything is designed perfectly. The instruction manual to put this together was done so well and so organized. I actually had fun building this. The way they organize all the parts in the bags, it's better than any company that's making instruction manuals. And I'm proud to say this is made in the USA. It's a USA-based company. And you can tell by the quality and the value of the car. It's just incredible. Now, we don't sell a lot of these because they're kits. And it's not a popular brand. Tekno spends very little money on advertising. But we sell only a few of these cars a year. And very few people know how special this car is, and it really does drive different than anything ready to run. If you have the chance to drive a Tekno, I suggest that you go do it, because if you do, you'll never go back. The Tekno cars are really special. They're extremely precise, they're very well made, and they're very durable. It's a very good value for what you get. This car that I have here needed no maintenance on the drivetrain or anything on the car over the years that I had it. I just installed. These are all old electronics. I would never use these today, but they're all old heavy electronics, and nothing ever needed to be serviced or changed in this car. That's how durable it is. So I got a lot of use out of this car, and it's been a workhorse. I'm probably going to go up and upgrade to this car. It is definitely worth doing so just because of the whole chassis layout. It's better. Like I said, lower center of gravity. Surprisingly, though, it is 2 or 3/10 of an ounce heavier than the older car. That is not going to make any difference in the handling, though. It is not enough to do anything. But overall, a much better design for this year. And this is a design that's probably going to be out for a couple of years. And we can't wait to build more of these for customers. They are going to love these. These are absolutely phenomenal cars. When I was racing this on a track, a local track, I went to a good friend of mine, Paul. Paul is a good customer. He's a really good track in his backyard. And we were running this against other branded, short course trucks. And I can't tell you how much better this goes through the S-turns. It goes through the whoops. It jumps incredible. It lands amazing. It always lands evenly. The difference is really night and day. So this car is, I wouldn't say one step or even 2 steps. I think it's 10 steps above anything in its class. And it is absolutely phenomenal. Now, interestingly enough, Tekno makes a lighter version of this car called the SL. I cannot wait to build that and drive that. I am going to report back to you guys, maybe show some running footage on that car. It's not really designed to be as durable as this car, but it's very, very lightweight, and we can't wait to see how that performs. Now, the customer, because he's getting the best car, we wanted to pair it with the best radio, so he asked us, what's the best radio? I told him the Sanwa M17. This, if you ask any racer on the circuit, they'll tell you the M17 is their favorite radio. It's $599.99. It comes with a rechargeable battery in the radio and a little port for recharging it. It's a micro USB and very easy to keep going. This will never run out if you're at a race or doing any type of racing. The battery on this is really, really long lasting, and you'll never run out during a race, no matter how many hours you're there. You could run. For the steering, we went with an SW1212 from Savox. This is the standard servo we've been going on a lot of our builds with. It has over 550 ounces of torque. You don't need more than that. It's overkill for the car. And basically that's it. I built the car as per the instruction manual. I didn't veer off 1 ounce. All the recommended fluids are in there and they all run perfect. There is no need to try to make any improvements on this car. You know, when I make my videos, I go through all the improvements that I can make on the cars, like from Team Associated to Traxxas. I spend all my days, and my business actually revolves around improving those cars. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in business. This is one of those cars where I can't tell you how to make it better. It's just great out of the box, and there's not really much you can do to it. Just drive it, learn how to drive it. Maybe make small tweaks and changes. Maybe the rear springs, you could put some stiffer ones in, see if you like it better. But overall, this is great out of the box. It builds perfectly, and it is worth every penny. It is such a good value. It's hard to describe. If you want me to build you one, just call the 800 number, 1-800-470-8932. I'd love to build you one, and I'd love to build it to your spec. So yeah, give us a call anytime and we'll help you build this. Mr. Kim is going to love this. I hope he has a lot of successful races with it. It looks really, really good in this color scheme, and I'm really proud of it. Very, very nice design, and beautiful truck to drive. Anyway, it's Mark from parkflyers.com signing off. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.